I am gonna. I pulled all the old 3D material, all the old 3D background material out of the old tank. And you can see that it's kind of beat up. I had to, in fact, I had to. Is my audio working? I think so. A couple of these I had to really manhandle them to like get the, yeah, like that one. See, and I used when I first did this. I can't remember what kind of silicone I used, but it it essentially wasn't the right one. So it didn't didn't bond all that well, especially to the glass, surprisingly. But you can see that it bonded well enough to this background material here that when I pulled it off, it it completely pulled plugs out of the. See, look at that! It totally pulled plugs out of the background. You know, so it stuff's on there tight. Like when you if you make a mistake with this stuff and you want to reset it, you want to reset your 3D background material, uh, you're gonna have to rip it all to shreds to get it out. And then I could show you on the inside of the old tank in there, there's like little styrofoam balls, little plugs stuck all to the back of it. Looks terrible. But for what I'm doing here, this doesn't matter because what I'm wanting to do with all these, I don't need any more. I don't need any more 3D background material on the back of the tank. Obviously, we have plenty there. But I feel like I wish I had more foreground rocks. You know, rocks that just, or faux rocks or whatever, foam rocks that just sit on the bottom and kind of, you silicone them down to the bottom. So they'll float up. So you can't just sit them there. They have to be thoroughly siliconed to the bottom of the tank. But I want more of them, you know, a lot more. Because I have a total of 18 inches in the new tank. Front to back is 18 inches, a quarter inch for the glass. And so you have, you know, 17 and a half inches of space to fill up with like rocks and other stuff. So the current background takes up an average of about 3.5 or 4 inches. So then all that extra space, I can work with it. I can do stuff with it. So what this particular stream segment is going to be about is like how to how to cannibalize this stuff in a way that it will look natural, and I can use it on the bottom of the tank as additional structure. You know, as additional. I also I gotta quit doing that. I'll start one thought and then I get in a hurry and bleed into the next one too quick, right? But this stuff will make a great buffer. So LX, I know you and I have talked about using egg crate on the bottom of the tank to prevent like rock falls and other kinds of you know, catastrophic mistakes that might lead to a shattering, so similar to what I had. But this stuff obviously makes the perfect buffer. I mean, yeah, and I can't really convey to you guys how dense this stuff is. So it's styrofoam, like you know from like a cooler or something, but far denser. You know. So like, let me see, and then they paint this paint that they put on it, whatever this sealant paint stuff is. That ends up being, it does something to the. I actually think that it does something to the styrofoam. I don't know. I should ask Florian. This is probably like his patented or secret, you know, secret Russian 3D background foam recipe. This is what I suspect is what he would be like. Yes, that's proprietary process, Adam. Because, you know, there's really no one else that does it quite like this. And this guy can crank these things out at a rate that he's obviously got some kind of cool way of doing it. But I can tell you that the unpainted side, here's my point. The unfinished side right here, this is kind of soft. I can take my finger, you know, and I can do that to it rather easily. But this side that's finished and painted, I cannot easily do that without like pretty much like damaging my fingernail. It would be difficult. I could probably find a spot where I have previously made a mistake, you know, like I knocked a few holes in it with rocks and stuff in the past, and I could probably get in there and work it out. But the the front of the foam is fundamentally different in texture and nature than the back. All right. So knowing that, um, how can we cut this stuff up, or otherwise, or otherwise, um, yeah, how can we cut it in such a way that it'll make little pieces of rock that'll fit in naturally on the current bottom of, you know, the current current new tank. I'll tell you what else I found. You can't really just cut. Let me find a spot. You can't just take like a hacksaw and just cut through it. It actually won't work. It tears. I'll try to do it here in a minute. I'll show what I mean. It's very difficult to work with. Here we go. And there was an edge. So I just straight up broke this one trying to get it out. There's just a little piece, little extra piece on the end, and it just popped off. So, oh well. But it gives a nice, it allows for a really nice view of what's happening. If we get really close, I bet you can actually see, yeah, look. So look at how thick that sealing layer is. So if I, yeah. This Logitech camera should be really in its element in these lighting conditions. So this is like late afternoon outside light, natural light like this is absolutely perfect for a webcam, especially like a modern, digital webcam. This lighting is absolutely perfect. So it should be able to autofocus on really tight stuff like that. So you know what? One of the things about how autofocus works, I learned this. Like if you want something to autofocus and it's not working, you need to cut out the other items in the image. So like you can do things like put your hand up, but if it's based on contrast, it looks for the greatest areas of contrast where you go from one thing to another, color typically. And so if it sees like a really sharp point, like right now it's focused on that edge and it's doing it really well. But if it it's seeing lots of sharp edges in the background and it's trying to focus on the background. So if you're having trouble getting something to focus up close, what you want to do is like cut out everything else in the view. Anyway, that works sort of. You can also increase sharpness. Increasing contrast and sharpness can also lead to better autofocus. All right, so I gotta clean this stuff up first. And that's actually the reason why we're outside doing this currently. Because I got these picnic tables yesterday. I went to Home Depot to buy some random stuff like everyone does. And I was working on the undergravel jet system, which is not done yet, which I am gonna complete. And these big giant 6-foot coffee picnic tables were sitting outside of Home Depot. I went and checked on the price, and they were $75. I was like, that's amazing. I'll take 2. And then I went to check out and actually take them home, and it was 75% more off of that. So this is a $197 picnic table, and I bought 2 of them for $22 each. Yeah. Home Depot owes me though. As much money as I've spent with those people, that $400 for that 90% off thing I just got, I'm owed that. So I don't feel bad at all. My wife was like, isn't that kind of like stealing? Like, no. I mean, they gave me the discount. I don't think they meant to. All right, let me get some, let me look for some solvent or something that we can use to, I like to clean these up. These are the same essential color as the new rocks on the new tank. By the way, the new tank is like literally right here. It's on the other side of this. This is the game room wall. And so the new tank is literally right here. In fact, I'll open the window so you can see it. It's kind of cool. So that 3D background is pretty much the same color as this one. So if I clean this one up well, it should fit almost seamlessly with the existing background. Okay. Yeah, everything's orange in Home Depot. That's right. It's like orange versus Baumarkt. Yeah, so everything is orange from Home Depot. That's just sort of their thing. And I think Lowe's things tend to be blue. That's kind of their color. So I don't really know what kind of cleaner to use on this stuff. Something obviously non-abrasive, but something that'll eat through algae. That's really what this is primarily. It's just You know, my philosophy toward algae with these Mbunas and this particular kind of fish that I'm keeping is to just pretty much let it grow. I keep it cleaned up off the sides and the, you know, places where the cameras are going to be, but I do let the algae just kind of run rampant. Let me turn that off. You want that? I pretty much just let it run rampant though otherwise, because the fish like it, you know, and as long as it's not cyanobacteria. Yeah, vinegar or yeah, bleach is actually a good pick too, because I know I can remove bleach with prime. Yeah, I don't think that bleach will eat away at that rock, the paint. I don't know. We'll try a few different things. I don't have too many hours of daylight left. So that's the real problem. I only got like maybe 2 hours out here, so before it gets dark. But see, look, some of these pieces are really cool. Like, I gotta figure out what I can do with that one. This was the top piece that went along the brace. I put this cutout in there. That was for the old brace. That's because when I ordered the old 3D background, I ordered it too tall, and it actually stuck up over the edge of the tank. I didn't really mind it because it looked kind of like I meant to do that once it was done, but I really didn't. It was I think I actually think I'd converted centimeters to inches incorrectly or something when I first yeah. So yeah, I'm really good at making those kind of mistakes. I'm also really good at covering those kind of mistakes up, fortunately. So this is the centerpiece. You guys look, you probably recognize it if you remember that, if you watch the stream, the old stream ever, you know what this piece is. This is the dead centerpiece. It just ran right up. And so I think I can, like, I need to find a way to use this. The problem is if I just cut it, like, if I just cut it straight down, it's just going to be this big, jagged, nasty foam side to it right here. So I gotta be kind of careful about how I cut into this stuff so that it's not going to be messy. And then I've got to find something to paint it with. So probably just matte black spray paint. Some kind of thick sealer, some kind of, like, maybe polyethylene sealer is what it's called. I'd have to go look. I don't remember. They make sealers and then you can paint the color over top of it, which is essentially, I think, what Florian and his Aqua Decor guys did. They probably don't like me doing this, hacking up their stuff. But I did email them. I asked them, I emailed those guys and said, can you guys give me a price on a bunch of additional rocks? And I don't think they emailed me back, or else I didn't see a response. So I was like, you know what? That would take, it takes like 6 weeks, because they have to ship it from Serbia to the United States. And so that takes a long time. It literally takes 6 weeks to get to receive the background material. This is not something you just have spur of the moment. Oh, I want to go buy a 3D background and just put it in. It takes some planning. So I don't want to wait 6 weeks. I can't wait 6 weeks. But I can do this myself and have these rocks right now. So let me go find some solvents and different things. And I'll put on some annoying Atom electronic music while I'm gone. What we got here? Oh yeah, I don't really have this. I don't have the audio on this mobile streaming system worked out yet. So I need mics. So this is I'm talking on mics. You guys don't understand what I'm looking at right here. This OBS Studio thing is it's freeware. Well, no, I gave these guys a $75 donation, so it's not free, but it is open source, and it has some subtleties that are kind of annoying sometimes. So I'm hearing it in my headset, but I don't think it's going to the stream. Let's see. Desktop audio number 1 needs to be, there it goes, all right. Yeah, so it's not just dead silence while I'm gone. All right, be right back. All right. I think I found something that will work. We'll try this. I have many different cleaners, many different kinds of things that we could try. This stuff looks hopeful. Sort of one of these semi-proprietary, multi-purpose cleaners of everything. This contains surfactant as well as glycol ether, surfactants, and alkaline builders. Do not mix with ammonia or chlorine bleach. It creates gas. That's always the case. Don't ever mix. There's like, I think what are the ones you can't mix? I think ammonia and chlorine bleach are dangerous if mixed. So I'm gonna try this on a piece. On a piece that I don't care a whole lot about. Yeah, probably the bottom of. Actually, I know what. This. Here's the old cutout for the edge. You see how the. This was the far left side of the tank. And you're looking at it from the front. You can see that this is where the filter intake would live in this little notch cutout. The new tank has three of those, three of those compartments in it. So really what I want to clean up here is the fact that it's an African cichlid tank, therefore it has tons and tons of minerals. It's hard water. And over the course of the 1.5 years that I had this tank up, it built up tons of this deposit stuff. This is just, it's salts and stuff that I added to the water to harden the water up. So we want to try to get that off. That's why I want something that's relatively strong. So let's try it. Is that working? I don't really know if that's working. It doesn't smell like ammonia or bleach. It's something else. It smells like Windex. Whatever the active ingredient is in Windex is what that is. That ain't strong enough. I don't want Windex for this. I need something way stronger than Windex. Well, you can see that as the algae is getting wet, it's loosening up. I don't want the cleaning process of this to take up all my afternoon, because cleaning this up is actually not that important. Ultimately, the rocks after like 3 or 4 months are going to pretty much be completely covered in red algae anyway, the foam. So this is only important for like the first 2 or 3 months, where the foam itself, the rocks are going to just be pristine and brand new looking. Kind of like that. You imagine if you bought a brand new car and you took your own. What's a good example? You had an old seat cover in your old car. I don't use seat covers. I don't use steering wheel covers, anything like that. But let's say hypothetically I did have an old seat cover, and I took it out of the old car and I put it into the brand new car. Well, the seat cover would look pathetic and terrible and used up and old compared to how awesome the new car would be. So I don't want to put these old beat up rocks in there with the brand new rocks and bring them down. That's the idea. I want them to look nice. But at the end of the day, after a couple months, it will all just be covered in red algae regardless. That's just the way it ends up. Get some water. The heck? Well, it's supposed to be water. There we go. I gotta be careful with this because basically you can't see it because the camera's mounted on it, but I have just a crash cart, like a steel cart I can push around, and it has all kinds of stuff connected to it, cables and utility stuff and Velcro and cameras and laptop and a bunch of stuff. So that crash cart is up off the ground by about 3 inches. So that's the idea, is that I'm not going to electrocute myself or ruin any of my equipment, because hopefully, unless I turn the water hose and spray the crash cart where you guys are right now, that would be really bad. We're not going to do that. Alright. We also got to be careful about splashing too. Alright, so that was just a real simple, spray some cleaner on there, lightly brush it, and then wait a minute, and then rinse the water off. rinse it off with water. And I'm not sure that that cleaner did anything more than the water itself would have done. Like, water is a phenomenal solvent. I think it's actually like called the universal solvent. it's typically water alone is enough to clean most things, but you can certainly hasten things up by adding cleaners to it. All right, so that turned out okay. Now let's go get an ammonia-based cleaner. All right, so I found something I forgot that I had that I think will work really well for this. All right, so here's a good old window cleaner, ammonia window cleaner. This is what I use exclusively on the tanks, the fronts of the tanks and whatnot. I use ammonia-based cleaners because if you do get some of it in the tank itself is designed to remove the cleaner from the water very quickly. So if I were to spray this in the tank, obviously that would be really, really bad. Like we don't want ammonia being put directly in the tank, and it also has surfactants in it. That's why when you shake it and it foams, you know that it's got stuff added to it if it foams up. Those are called surfactants, and the surfactants are bad because they bind to things and they get in. They would destroy your purigen, some other stuff. So it would not be good, but I do know that the tank itself is naturally equipped to remove this stuff if I get it in the tank. That's why I use ammonia-based cleaner. Now, this is what I found here. I think this is perfect. Heavy duty cleaner removes tough oil, grease, tire marks, dirt, and stains. And its active ingredient is okay, it's some giant word I can't read. It's ethoxylated nomylphenol. Good lord. Can you see that? Contains. Yeah, there it is. I don't know, whatever. If it's an ETH word, that's related to petroleum, right? Like what would you call that? A thinner, most likely. Probably like a mineral spirits oriented kind of petroleum derivative. I think that whenever you see like ethoxylated namylphenol, like that's probably some kind of a thinner kind of thing, which might mean that it might want to take off the paint off the front of the 3D rocks, that wouldn't be good. So once again, we'll just try it on limited basis. This is the broken edge right here, so I'm just going to test this area, because I'm probably going to use this piece. Mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are going to start soon. It's going to be sad. I hate them. What does that smell like? Man, I have no idea. You know what it smells like? Bubbles. So if you get, if you buy a thing of bubbles and you're gonna dip the stick and then blow them, that's pretty much what that smells like. Bubble juice. That's what it was when I was a kid. Bubble juice. I expected it to have more of a mineral spirit smell to it, but yeah. Hell with it. Let's just pour a little bit on it, right? Oh yeah, and by the way, it's green. I have to be careful out here because this is also where the kids play a lot. So I can't just soak the ground in unknown chemicals. I'm pretty sure that's taking the paint off. I'm not sure. I could probably worry about this cleaning it up part later. This is actually kind of boring, I know. I could cut the pieces and then clean them, you know, after the fact. Here, let's just scrub this for a second. Let's see if the paint is coming off. Yeah, it definitely is. Is it though? I don't think it is. I think that's what it looked like originally, and it was covered up. And when I was scrubbing it, I saw this little white patch up here, right here. I thought that was the paint coming up, but actually it's just cleaning it. I'm pretty sure. You see, like normally when you do something to paint that causes it to break down and start getting removed, you know, it gets slick. It gets like it's tacky. The old paint, when you strip it, the paint will start taking on a tacky feel. You can tell that the structure, the chemical composition of the paint is changing, and that you're removing it from the surface because it's tacky. This is not tacky. It feels exactly like it did when I started, which tells me that stuff is probably not damaging the paint. Okay, I'm cool with that. That's good enough for me. Like that actually cleaned up fairly easily. You can see here that it looks pretty nice. There's gonna be a little bit of entrenched algae and stuff in the cracks that I just can't get to, but don't worry about that. I just want to generally, you know, somewhat a relatively simple way to just quickly clean all of these, and not with a toothbrush. I want to take like this stuff, dump it in a bucket, cut it like by half with water, and just scrub the crap out of all this stuff. So I'll do that. No, not on the stream though. That's me cleaning rocks. I think is Well, I mean, normally the stream is just fish swimming around, so I guess me cleaning rocks is about the same as fun as to watch as that. But all right, so let me put this cleaner up, and I am gonna hose all the pieces off real quick, just so they're not sandy. They still have the old Tahitian moon stand embedded in them all over the place. They're probably baby fry corpses and stuff, and stuck in all these cracks. Because when I had to be real careful about this when I changed the water. The fish would get where the pieces come together on this stuff. I'd have to find like the pieces come together. They make these cracks in the back, and the fish, the fry and the babies and other fish will swim back into those cracks. And whenever you change the water, I would reduce the water level really slow, and the fish would swim out of the cracks as the water went down and get away. But in the case of the failure, the water just sort of instantly dropped a good bit, and so there were fish that were stuck in the cracks that were stranded there, that couldn't get out. And I found one or two fry, like half-inch fry, that had died that way, which is quite sad. They're just little tiny pieces of fish jerky at this point. I did not keep them. I thought that would be kind of morbid, but I did find a couple. Amongst all these ruins also is this little baby Demonsoni that I never found. That was the only Demonsoni fry I had naturally occur in the tank, and he didn't make it. But I don't know where he went. Like, he just disappeared. I think I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes. So give me a second. If I see them, I'm gonna have to start. I'm going to go. We have a bug guy that comes and he sprays the entire area for mosquitoes to try to kill them, and it works for like 2 weeks, and then it doesn't work anymore. The more it rains, it washes away the mosquito killer. And it's rained a couple times lately, quite a bit. All right, so let's put this up. This is our tree storage. Things we don't get to get wet. Okay, so now I'm just gonna wash all these pieces. This 3D background that you're looking at here, these pieces were 100 and shipped and everything. It was like $180. I think that's right. So 75-gallon aquarium, 48 inches by 22 inches will cost you about 180 bucks or so. I have shipped from Serbia. You guys don't even want to know how much the new background cost. The 6 foot by 6 foot, and it was custom. I paid him more to have him do it kind of precisely the way I wanted it. It was a lot. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let these get wet real quick. The algae does soften up, like if you just let it. Most of what we are seeing on these rocks is it's just algae. There were never really any substantial plants in that tank, so there's not much other kind of waste. There's really nothing else the fish can produce other than food. There's algae, poop, and whatever falls into the tank naturally. I don't use covers on my tanks. Well, I don't use covers on the Mbuna tanks, but like that. I had a tank with some killifish in it, and it had covers, because killifish, they want nothing more than to fly across the sky out of the tank. They love that. But the Mbunas won't really do it. I was talking to LX last night, the Mbunas were really only, if your Mbunas are jumping out of the tank, it is because you are doing something wrong. They're trying to jump out because they don't like it, and they're trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Conditions, or they're being bullied, or they're a female that wants to go off and hold her fry somewhere safe, or it's a male that wants to go find his own domain, his own dominion. But they only ever try to jump out of the tank if they are unhappy with their current conditions. Well, there might be some exceptions to that. Some old African Cichlid and Mbuna guy might be like, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, you know, blah blah blah. Certain species jumps all over. That might be true. But the basic ones that I keep, the labs and Dimensoni and Akai and Metroclemia, Synodontis catfish obviously don't jump out. You know, none of those are jumpers. The Aratus, I think, is probably the only one that might potentially jump out. But I only have one of those left because the one male Aratus I had killed all the rest of them. He murdered all the other six fish. Yeah, I keep waiting for a dead baby body to pop out. I counted 72 fish yesterday. I went through and counted them fairly accurately. It's kind of hard to do it when they're in the sump in there, but 72 was between 68 and 72 is the number I got when you count 13 fish that are in the fry tank and all the babies, all the juveniles. And I know there were a lot more than that in the tank when the accident happened. There were a lot more fry and really small juveniles. So there are some unknown soldiers lost in yonder battlefield that no one will ever know about. Because, you know, like when a fish dries up all the way, there's not much left. Like it just makes like this tiny little piece of biological material that's all that's left after you remove the water from something. Of course, I guess if you remove all the water from a human, you've only got like 26% of you is actual material, you know, the rest of it's water or something. Get off me. Yeah, if you want to move to the southeast United States, but keep in mind the bug situation. If you don't like bugs, don't come here. They are everywhere. Now, one comment about the algae thing, I did let the algae grow, typically, and I wouldn't like fight it. I wouldn't try to keep, oh my God, there's some green algae growing on the back of the background. And I know there are people that are like that. I've seen a number of like YouTube video creator fish guys that are all like, you know, talking about how people troll them and give them a lot of grief because, oh, your intake has got a little bit of brown goop on it or whatever. Well, tough shit. You know, for me, I think that's part of it. It's part of the natural sort of you know, biosphere that exists in the tank. All that. Now, you don't want to let it get crazy, and there are certain types that are super bad. Cyanobacteria is really, really bad. It's actually poison. And if you do see cyanobacteria, you also know that your tank something is horribly wrong. But other types of algae are not really so bad. And the Mbunas eat it. They love it. I mean, you'll see. I don't know if you try. In fact, you can look in the fry tank when I turn the normal stream back on, and you'll notice that some of the fry, if I don't feed them for like 2 days, like if I just don't feed them, which doesn't really hurt them that badly, their poop will start turning green because they will start foraging. They'll start eating the algae off the sides and stuff, and their poop will actually turn the color of the algae. They won't do that unless they have to. Like, you won't see your fish's poop algae colored like that unless you don't feed them, because, you know, they're not dumb. They're going to eat the little pellets or the flakes or whatever before they go spend their whole day foraging off the side. They have little tiny teeth. I got a video somewhere showing the little itty bitty tiny teeth marks that you can see in the actual side of the aquarium, where they are biting the algae off the side. Unfortunately, they bite the algae off. They don't eat it. They don't suck it. So it's not like a snail that like goes along and clears a path. The Mbunas actually they have little tiny teeth and they bite, they scrape the algae off. So they never actually completely remove it from the glass, which means that, you know, they're not really good algae scrapers. All they do is just leave a big mess of like semi-transparent green surface with little tiny teeth marks on it. That's not really, I guess they kind of make it easier to remove the algae ultimately, but they're not good. They're not good algae removers, is what I'm saying. Not for aesthetic purposes. That's the key. I'm making a huge mess in the backyard. The trampoline was sitting in a certain spot, and now so it's like this area right here to my front is all mud from where the grass died. We didn't move it enough, and so I'm trying not to get in that area because it's going to be muddy as hell. All right, so let me let this set for a minute. Let this algae soften up, and I'm gonna go check on the family. I'll be right back. You know, if all the fish had died, or if like even like half of them had died, this would be a lot more. This would be a lot less fun to do. It'd be kind of sad. Ew, that's a fish toothbrush. You don't want to use that. You don't want to use a fish toothbrush. Okay. Hi. All right, guys. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. All right, let me catch up on chat and stuff too. It's hard to do all this and like read the chat at the same time. Let's see. Cichlids, yeah, cichlids would eat shrimp instantaneously. They absolutely. I mean, even though they're herbivores, they will 100% eat anything else in the tank. Not because they are they're hungry and they want to eat. Wow, hold on, I'm way behind. Yeah, they don't eat like the babies and stuff because they're hungry. It's because they are territorial. They're afraid those shrimp will eat their eggs or their babies or whatever. They just don't like stuff. CLR is what I need, isn't it? Yeah, I think CLR would work really well. Stuff that takes deposits off. Styropor. Is that what this stuff's called? Styropor? I never really thought to look up the actual name of this material they use, but yeah, styropor makes sense. I know they make careful, you'll pinch your finger. I know they basically have a mold and pour the foam into it, so I guess styropor. Okay. So wait, what happened? Your Redis got electrocuted? The heater broke. I think you told me that. That would be really unfortunate. Yeah, right. I think the max temperature really, Matt's my experience is with temperature has been that if as soon as the water gets above, be careful, sweetie. As soon as the water gets above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is in Celsius, at that point it starts getting hold on a second, guys. Little biting flies are eating this. I gotta put some off on, huh? All right, I'm gonna start cutting up the foam here in a second. The question there is like, how to do that? What to use? You want some off on you? Oh no, sorry. Yuck. It's yuck. Don't let it get on you. I know it's yuck. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. No deed. Kids have to use a special kind of bug spray. Can't put lots of DEET on them, makes them sick. Okay, so how to cut this stuff? I think I'm just gonna get a hacksaw and cut through like this piece right here. Oh, here they come. That's what we get a lot here, geese. So they're flying. They're heading back to starting to make their transition back to the south for winter. That's how you can always tell that fall is coming in Georgia, in the southeast United States. You start seeing bugs, not bugs, geese flying over randomly. All right, so this piece, I almost wish I could just break it, but I don't think I can. If I just force it and just break it, I also don't know what the result's going to be exactly. Like it could just shatter and break in a way that's not good. So I think. So see this little top section right here. If I can just cut. Actually, you can see there's a seam. So this was like one flat piece, and they bonded this piece to this piece. The new tank doesn't have these seams. They must have poured all of the new background as one total piece. But this one, it was at least 2 pieces that were bonded together. So I need that top piece off there. And I'll use this top piece. I could just set it flat on the bottom of the tank, and it would just be a, you know, a flat piece of substrate. You know, I'll have to work the. I could probably run the undergravel jet right over it, over the top of it. If it's going to be this flush, that's only like 1 inch or 2. You see the seam? Yeah. So how to cut that along the seam is the question. I really wish I could just get it to separate. It is not going to do it. Not willingly. Okay. Hacksaw. Dremel's not going to work. Dremel, I've tried the Dremel on this material, and it really just melts it. It doesn't, it's too fast, and it melts it and makes a mess. You really can't just Dremel it. All right, let me go get a hacksaw, a little saw. All right, I found a little handsaw. I got a little handsaw, little hacksaw. Okay. This seems like the right kind of tool for this job. The teeth might be too coarse. We'll see. Well, first of all, pull that off. That's the separator. That's what fits between the edge of the glass and the side of the foam. Basically just got little channels through it so the water can go through it. Stuff is awkward. I can see right now this is going to make a huge mess. I mean, this white stuff is going to be everywhere a long time. is definitely the right tool. I got lucky. This is pretty much exactly what I needed for this. Oh, that's getting sideways, isn't it? That's what I was worried about. You need to keep the blade from twisting. If I go ahead and make the cut like that, I should prevent it from. All right. This is definitely what I had in mind. Let me show you. So now you've got this little piece. I mean, you know, the back, I'm going to have to clean this up. Put a little, I'll just sort of pick away at the edge and cover it with a little more gray spray paint. But the point is, I've got this nice little piece that can really sit anywhere, you know. You can sit on the bottom flush like that. Wait, here we go. Probably just sit right on the bottom. Just a random little piece of bottom rock just chilling there. Perfect. So I need just a lot of these examples, or what I'm going to try to cut away from the old foam. Cool. All right, I'm going to put these on the other picnic table. I gotta hurry. It's getting dark. Actively see it getting darker. All right, let's do this one now that I have a better idea how this works. I'm gonna be a little more aggressive with this one, just so I can. So now I want this little series of rocks out. I want to use those. So let's just make an initial cut, just right down. I'm going to be cleaning up white styrofoam for years, I think. There's the piece I want. Perfect. Now what can we do with that one? Well, first of all, it's too tall. This stuff tends to fracture. Bad. This one's got edges there and there, so I might be able to do something with that little piece. I'll put it in the potentially useful pile. I need a garbage bag. If I don't manage this white ball stuff, it's gonna be everywhere. So let me grab a quick mechanism for cleaning it up. All right. Okay, let's do another one. This one. Maybe the rocket that's on top of it is what I want. Oh, there you go. How about that? That one did break. And it broke just about the way I wanted it. You can see that the bag got some spots that I'll have to clean up, but for the most part, that should make another nice rock. Like right there. It's just a rock. nothing real special, but that'll work. The more of this stuff that I can repurpose into the new tank, the less actual granite I will have to use for, you know, the rock work. And of course, less granite means less weight, which means even less chance of another huge problem occurring. As I've said many times before, there's I am doing, it's 1/2-inch tempered glass on the bottom. I'm gonna adjust something, fix something real quick. Okay. That holly bush right there. I hate that thing. They're ugly and they grow. I don't do a lot of, I'm not big into yard work. Okay, can we use this piece? Maybe? Yeah, definitely. I kind of like the way the back has that flat edge to it. Oh, actually, you know what? That's too flat. It looks unnatural. That was the top before. I thought what I could do is the sides of the tank. Like, so let's say this is the side of the aquarium. The side facing the small 18 by 19-inch side panel. I could have this resting against it. I think that would still look pretty natural. I'll probably try that. Like a little gap, as if the rocks come out of the side of the tank as well. We'll have to mess around with that and see if that works. This piece would work nicely for that. This would need to go on this would be the left side of the tank. I could leave this. I just need to do something about the back right here. You can pretty much just snap this stuff off, but all right, I don't want to. I'm going to worry about how to clean this up and repaint it and stuff later. I'm going to keep this piece. This piece looks pretty good. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. This one, I really like this one. See this? Because it's already pretty flat. It's not a big bulky piece. It's sat flush to the aquarium side to begin with. That. So I should probably find a place on the floor of the aquarium to put this. I think the far left side of the L shape, which I'll show you guys later. It could also go this way. I mean, imagine it's just like the tip of a submerged rock. It's just barely sticking up out of the substrate. So the substrate will essentially cover it, most of it. I have 2 inches of black sand substrate that will be available. So that's just going to sit right over the top of it, and this will just poke out and peek through the bottom. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, this piece, I'm literally not even going to touch this piece. I'm going to leave it just like that. Perfect. Now that is a good bite. So if a rock falls on that, it is not going to break the glass on the bottom. It's got that nice barrier. The tank currently has about 8 inches of water in it right now, so I'm gonna have to drain it again to put these pieces in. It has to be completely drained and completely dry before you put the 3D material in. All right, so here's another good sized piece that really could just sit on the bottom. You know, that might not need to. This might not need to be cut. It's really going to mess with my undergravel jet design though. So I'm glad I didn't finish that yet. And now that we might be doing this, adding these bottom rocks, the undergravel jet system is going to have to accommodate that. I could build tunnels. I could make little 3/4 inch tunnels or 1 inch tunnels through the bottom of the foam. Not the undergravel jet system, just literally go through the tunnels. What do I need to do that? I need a router for that. What do you call the tabletop thing? It has a bit that comes up and you push wood across it. I think that's called a router. And it like bore a line down the middle of something. I don't have a router. I don't have whatever that is. Just kind of what I would need to drill a clean and accurate hole through the bottom, a cave essentially. For the undergravel jet system would have to be something like that. That would never be removable ever. The undergravel jet system would never. I would get it out, right? Because it would be trapped underneath in the cave. No, I kind of like that though. I kind of like the idea of this rocks on the bottom with these 1 inch, essentially tunnels running through it with the undergravel jet system just running right through it. I feel like that's going to be pretty hard to engineer though to do, but it sure sounds cool. So if we did do something like that, this piece, I want this to be 2 pieces. I want it to break right down the middle right here. I want to have this piece and this piece separately. Can I break it without really messing it up? Do I need to cut it? I don't think it'll snap. I think snapping it would be a really bad idea. So let's try cutting it. I already screwed up. Aha, that worked. That worked better than I thought it would. You can just rub this stuff. If you rub it aggressively, it's almost like sanding it. Yeah, it's like I'm rubbing down the rough edges, the loose pieces. The further down you go, though, the less loose the pieces get. If you know what I'm saying. Now we have a pretty awesome piece of rock. Look at that. No, not pretty awesome. 100% awesome. Think of all the things you could do with that. Can't set it up because all these pieces really have to sit with their previous. They used to be sitting against the background. Now they are doing that. But that piece is great. Love that. It's good. Yet another project or addition to this aquarium thing is turning out better than I expected it to. So that's undergravel jet system. That remains to be seen. That one's. If it turned out the way that it appears it might. Eventually, it's going to be great. But working with that PEX material stuff has not been great. That has not. It has been a real pain in the butt. So this piece is questionable. I mean, I'm not sure there's anything I can really do with that. It's because of this side, this flat side. See that? That flat side is not. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this, but I don't think I'm gonna use this piece. All right. Trying to get as much of this stuff up as I can. I got this big piece. There's only 2 pieces left. We need to dissect. How to do this one? This one's got a lot of potential. A lot going on there. It's like again, what we have here is a seam. See that they poured this big, just essentially block, and they poured the smaller pieces and attached them to it, to the lower piece. I need these rocks to separate along that natural seam. Let's briefly try prying them, see if they want to just pop off. Okay, they don't really want to just pop off, so now I'm going to have to just cut. Come to me. There we go. I was half expecting to find a dead fry in there. Hold on. All right. All right, so this is perfect. Little random rock. Excellent. Camera's gonna start having trouble focusing. Let me fix it. As it gets darker, the exposure will automatically start increasing. Repaint with cement, yeah, absolutely. Hey Matt, what's up? Yeah, and fall is autumn, that's right. Here. Let's get that little piece. Piece looks good. This one's a little awkward because it's got a flat edge right there and a flat edge right there. I'm not sure how I'm gonna make that fit somewhere naturally, but we'll try. We'll mess around with it. Yeah, perfect. Okay, this little piece right here. I'm working on this. I am salvaging rocks. I'm going to use. Oh, hold on a second, buddy. Alex, these are going to go in the new aquarium. These are going to go in the new aquarium. There we go. Did you? Oh, in the office? Yeah. I know.
What's that? That's so good. I cut that. Are you cut this part first? I didn't cut that part.
Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one of these rocks will work.
What can you do?
Scoot over. You'll be in the picture. See? Scoot over. Scoot over. This way. Can't see that, buddy. I don't want my naked babies on YouTube. Actually, let's do it this way. When you get a little bigger, you'll be able to, yeah. All right, this one.
I'll use that paint.
Why would you? You're gonna use this chainsaw to cut me in pieces. Huh? That's pretty. That's kind of creepy. Why can't you come outside? Back up. Back up. Here. You can see that one. She can go outside. She can hurt nothing. I mean, the cable's right there if she gets near it. We'll just make sure she doesn't eat it. The dog has a tendency to eat cables. Then you gotta scoot back. You gotta scoot back. I'm not gonna keep telling you. My wife is not supportive of this whole effort at all. So she does not like me taking over the backyard. She does not like the fish hobby. You don't like it either? That's okay. Alright, so more of this stuff. Spin, okay. Alright, now you gotta go inside. Hold on, guys. Okay. I don't mind my kids being on YouTube, on the channel and stuff, but I don't really want them like run around in their diapers. You know, I just don't. It's not. There's a lot of weird people in the world. All right. See if we can cut this one. Alright, so here, again, I'm trying to separate there's the block, like the sort of filler area. I want to separate that from the actual individual pieces. Tiny piece. There we go. There we go.
I just walked into that thing to get there. All of a sudden, again, the thing, I'm not doing the one doing that. And I got a hole and then.
Hey, Finn, what did you say?
And then
I know, I see it. Hey, look, let me see. Turn around, let me see. Ow. We scratch on your tummy. Where'd you hit that on? What'd you hit it on? Big board? Stupid board. Alright, so you can see that this is the... Basically just gotta work all that stuff down off the back of it. I don't know, Finn. You're not nobody. There we go. Gotta go fast. Go ahead and pull off this piece. No baby dead fry yet. I keep expecting to see him. Just more structure for the bottom. Another one. And this is all just, this is leftover waste. Nothing I can do with that. I bet the aqua decor guys have this stuff everywhere, like in their house and their clothes. It just seems like it's the kind of thing that would just get all over the place if you worked in it all the time. Okay, last piece. How should we do this one? I think I really just want this front edge piece. I think that's all. I don't know. I'm thinking about putting it in the aquarium just like that. somewhere. The back is flat and ugly, but if that was facing against the back of the new tank, it'd be really hard to see that. You would really never see that. All right, I'm gonna wait before I cut this one up. I'm gonna hold on to this piece, and I'm gonna figure out if there's a way that I can use that as a bottom piece somewhere. That's pretty cool. It's big and bulky, and it's tall, you know. And that's just these are all kinds of areas the fish can. This entire thing is perfect. The Demonsoni will hang out along the top. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to leave this. Okay, so I'm gonna hose off all these pieces that I've collected, clean them up, and that's probably gonna be about it for the live portion of this evening's stream. I gotta work tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to yeah, it's not dark where you are, is it? It's 3 hours. Yeah, it's getting dark here. You can see that the exposure's way down on the camera. So I'm gonna go wash these off real quick. Yeah, Alex, during the winter, it gets dark. It will be dark here at 5:30 p.m. Pretty commonly. Okay. A bit of water. Yeah, this stuff made a mess, but I think it's gonna be okay. It'll mostly it should just sort of get lost in the grass in the backyard eventually. This stuff has a shelf life of like 500 years or something. I think it keeps its form for a very long time. Okay. Water back on just a little bit. I gotta go drain the tank. It's kind of hard to do. I have to siphon it because I didn't have a bottom hole drilled. Not really sure why I didn't do that now. Pretty dumb. That dog is driving me crazy. So clean it up nice. I was a little afraid that once I cut it, that the white stuff would just continuously fray out and it wouldn't stop eroding away. But it looks like the initial area where I cut it, all the white stuff kind of came off that. And then after that, it doesn't rub off as easily once you get past the first damaged layer of white foam circles. done. A couple of these rock pieces are really neat looking. They're gonna add very nicely to the bottom of the new tank. Like really nice, very natural. Rocks look just as good laying down there on the bottom of the tank as they do on the back. Okay, all done. Okay, so that was a like a 2-hour tutorial on how to cannibalize your old Aqua Decor 3D background and use it in your new tank. So let me go clean all this up. I'm gonna move this equipment inside, and I'm gonna switch the stream back over to the sump and the fish, and then I'll come up with a plan for next steps. Probably tomorrow night. I'll continue working on all this tomorrow night.